Can I ask you a question? I'm actually curious about something you said.
Mhm.
You said that you don't consider yourself like an intelligent writer, and I've said that before too, but I'm curious what you mean by that.
Oh, I meant, well, huh. I meant like an intellectual writer. Like I
Yeah,
didn't go,
yeah,
I,
intellectual writer.
I didn't go to Iowa or any master's degree. My education was really spotty. But I had been reading, my mom was an English teacher, and my rebellion was not to learn proper English. It's like I was accused in Sarah, like, oh, dumbing down or, using this fake Southern, and I was like, nah, that actually came natural out of me. I didn't have to do fake anything. They said
Right,
don't fix the mistakes, that because that's just how I write.
right.
I could use a thesaurus, and I've done this a few times where I've put in some, like, there are some words I know that I'll put in, but I'll take them out because they don't fit. Or I could find a word, but some people can pull it off. It
Yeah.
doesn't fit.
Well, yeah. I mean, I made this argument before, but it's like, don't reach for the thesaurus. Try to explain it the best that you possibly can through the character, because that's just so much more authentic and real.
Right. Right.
The reason I asked that question because it's like I'm always trying to square. I'm not saying I'm like the best at writing, but like like to square the fact that I can do this, that I can like write well, and like I am not very good at anything else. And the only other thing that I've been really good at is like skateboarding and like playing sports in high school. Like those two things, like the physicality of it, I've been trying to like understand how like that intuition translates to writing, which like you think of as intellectual, but really when you're writing a story, a lot of times you'll have this kind of like burst of creative energy that I was talking about before. And then from there, where you're pushing into the unknown, you're kind of like reacting like you would if you were like running through the line with a football in your hand and people are trying to tackle you, and you're reacting to these things that have this kind of like that are like arousing you or like inspiring fear or like conjuring these different emotions, and you're playing off of them and responding to them as you move forward into the unknown. And that always seemed like
That's
more of like
good.
a
That's good. That's very, yeah. Yeah.
right, and it's like this physical thing almost. It's this physical intuition that kind of like appears when you're at like this heightened state of arousal and you're in the zone, right? And then I always feel
I think
like
that's the thing when you're in the zone and it's like writing itself.
right, exactly. And everything of worth that I've ever written has been like I'll get like a chunk that way, and then I can kind of like pull different meaningful things that I want to play with out of those things. Sometimes it'll be a whole story, like the case with Foreclosure Gothic. I remember writing Sugar Bath in one sitting, like as it is now, one sitting, that whole chapter, 4,000 words just like appeared on the page. I remember literally crouching on my futon like a little gargoyle, like
Mhm.
writing as fast and then reading it and like not even knowing it was good, not knowing what it was, and then showing people and like being shocked that they thought that it had value. And then like something clicked and I was like, oh, like this is like worthwhile to kind of like continue exploring. Did you have you had a similar experience writing? Because I definitely see it in your writing. I see a lot of you in your books, even though it doesn't always track one to one, which is like what I'm doing with Foreclosure Gothic too.
Like, what do you see? Like, what are you talking about?
There's just like a certain like sensitivity, I think, and outlook. Like there's a reaching for religiosity, and there's like a punk rock nature to it, and a seeking to belong, and a lot of things that I get from your story that I can see, and I think a lot of the best writers are doing that, even if it's unconscious.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely true. And I think for me, that's why I needed to hide because I didn't feel comfortable just revealing it all as
Right.
needed to kind of like throw it like a magician kind of throw the light.
I feel like I kind of like did something similar, only it was like amnesia. Like I completely had no idea. It's the book's like Foreclosure Gothic is a book where I'm like hanging my life off my father's life. And highly sexual, or there's a lot of eroticism in it. So it's like that's my mom, that's my dad. Like it's just there's a lot of like complexity to it. Like I'm breathing my life into it too. Like it's very messy. And the other day, my dad was like, you wrote a very Oedipal novel. And I was like, it took me 15 seconds to understand that, yeah, he's completely right. But I had not even like considered any of it. It was like in autopilot or something, or like I put it
Well,
in a
you did the
box and didn't look
unconscious,
at it.
unconscious. You went into the. I mean, that's the best way to kind of trance out and let it, and then it's been interesting. It's interesting first for you to figure out what you wrote, and then to hear other people's takes on it. But what did your dad say when he read your?
Oh, he was reading him every step of the way. He
Wow.
totally he's totally cool with it. He loves it. He understands that it's like it's art, and if I'm like getting at something, I'm working it out as some kind of therapy or something. Like he's been very supportive. Like an anecdote, a story that's not in this book, but like it's kind of about similar things. I, it was read at like actors performed it at this church in Ankrum Opera House,
Mm.
and another one of the stories was David Rabe. And my dad really looked up to him, and they read this story about him being being like a domineering father who makes his kid work too much kind of thing. And he came up to David Rabe right after it and was like, "Hi, I'm the dad from the story, Mr. Rabe." He was like very proud of it.
Oh wow, that's